Hi, Hub Arkush here for Pro Football Weekly, along with associate editor Dan Parr. We're previewing all 32 NFL clubs as they prepare to kick off the 2012 regular season. Tampa Bay Buccaneers has been one of the most interesting teams in the league during the offseason. A ton of turnover starting at the top with head coach Greg SCHIANO.
And it's going to be a whole new way of going about things in Tampa Bay with SCHIANO calling the shots instead of Raheem Morris. A more disciplined team, more detail-oriented approach. And of course, you can't ignore what they did in free agency, signing Vincent Jackson and Carl Nicks, two of the best players that were available. They came at a high price, but these are huge upgrades at both positions, guys that I think are going to help this team improve quite a bit. They had a great draft as well. Mark Barron and Doug Martin, they're two first-round picks, guys that are going to be, I think, starting from day one.
Now, we talk about their biggest losses. One of them is a linebacker who won't start with his new team, so it's not like they got clobbered during the offseason.
There wasn't much to lose, unfortunately, for the Buccaneers. If you look at how they finished last season, Geno Hayes, an outside linebacker who had started a lot of games for them, but they hadn't been too happy with him, especially last season. And then Daquan Bowers is a guy they really had high hopes for. They still are hoping that he may be able to play some point this season, but he's going to start the year on the PUP list. That is a guy that I think could be a fairly big loss for this team, considering their pass rush has been a real issue in the past.
You know, I think SCHIANO as a head coach brings excitement right there, but what are other reasons to be optimistic about this team?
The free agent additions, the strong draft. I think some of the young talent on this team, guys like Gerald McCoy, could be developing into their prime years, and he's a guy who just hasn't been able to stay healthy when he's been out there, especially last season, looked pretty good. Maybe Josh Freeman bounces back, too, off of a really poor season.
Well, and as bad as last year was, they were a 10-win team a couple seasons ago, but maybe that's where the pessimism comes from, too, which is the real Bucs.
And which one is the real Josh Freeman? Is it the guy we saw in 2010 or the guy we saw last season who was making really poor decisions, forcing the ball into windows that just weren't there? I think those are the big concerns for them, along with the pass rush, which was, I think, the worst in the league last season. Not a lot that you've added in the offseason that makes you believe it's going to be much better. And there's still, I think, a pretty sizable gap between the Buccaneers and then you look at the top of the division, teams like the Saints and Falcons, they're just not quite there yet.
Well, and this prediction puzzles me a bit. Now remember, it's for more than 40 of our Pro Football Weekly writers and editors. We've got them at 4-12 in our preseason poll. They're probably still last in the division. I'm not sure they're not better than a 4-win team. This is going to be an interesting one to keep a very close eye on, as all 32 NFL teams are. And we've got the previews for every one of them right here at ProFootballWeekly.com.